Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Uli. If this is your first time, then welcome, and if it's not, then welcome back. So this is going to be a follow-on video from a video that I made just over a year ago about the fact that I had lost a lot of hair after I came off the birth control pill. So I'll link that video up here if you haven't already seen it. It will make a lot more sense if you watch that first. But just to give a little bit of background without repeating myself too much in that video, I was on the birth control pill for best part of 10 years. And then I came off it back in 2017. And at the same time as I came off the pill, I also started a very restrictive vegan diet. And because of that, I think that all these things compounded, I ended up losing a lot of hair. I didn't have a period and things like that. So things were just very off with me at that point. So when I caught myself in the back of a mirror one time and I realized that I had lost a lot of hair, my ponytails were super, super thin. I had very fine hair anyway. So if you don't have a lot of hair to begin with and then you start losing it, you know, you get into like proper panic mode. Thankfully, it's not gotten any worse. I have my period back and a few things have changed. So I thought I'd just give you a little bit of update in terms of how my hair is going at the moment and the things I've been doing, what worked, what hasn't worked, and just to give a little bit of comparison so you guys can see where I'm at with my kind of hair journey, if you want to call it that. So the first thing, I guess the most significant thing that I think has changed in that last year is that I have really sorted out my diet and my nutrition. It's not at all as restrictive as it was before. It's not even fully vegan anymore. It's kind of mostly plant-based. I guess it's more of a sort of reductionist diet. So I really do get a very large variety. I get all the calories that I need, and I just make sure that I sort of hit all my nutritional needs. And that was sort of the first thing I did. The second thing that I did was that I really put some focus into rebalancing my hormones and getting my period back. So I'm gonna make a separate video on this. I actually have already made it, but I just haven't put it out yet, but I will. So I really put a lot of focus into trying to get my natural cycle back without the use of any external hormones, anything like that. I did use some supplements. In terms of the actual condition of the hair that I do have, I stopped dyeing it for a year. I used to get highlights or foils regularly, so about sort of every 3 months, I'd say. I didn't get any highlights for the whole of last year. I have actually put some in now, just a very light bit of balayage. But you know, again, my hair is very thin and I just kind of realized I can't take all the peroxide and all the dye. Like my hair just is not good for it. So I had to sort of rethink that a little bit. And it was actually quite interesting to see what my natural hair color is, since I haven't really seen it for a couple of years now. And I think that this really makes such a difference in condition of your hair. I mean, everybody knows that bleach, it just like absolutely strips your hair of its kind of lustrousness and health. So if this is something that you do as well, maybe give your hair a break for a sort of a significant period of time. Once you're ready to put things back in again, speak to your hairdresser. I'm not a hairdresser. What? So then I did all the other things that you read about on the internet and on YouTube and Google. So I made my own hair masks. I did some treatments every now and again. I also did this, the head massages. I used some hair growth shampoos and things like that. So I did spend quite a lot of money on it. And I'll tell you a little bit of what worked for me and what didn't really work in just a second. So I'll show you now what my hair looks like. I put it side to side to what my hair looked like last year. So hopefully you'll get a good comparison there. So I don't know if you guys think so, but I definitely do see a massive difference there. I think the main thing you have to remember is that your hair grows very slowly. It grows on average between 10 and 15 centimeters a year. So actually only the new hair is going to be here at the top. And this hair underneath is, you know, it's pretty much going to be the same hair as it was last year. But the main thing that I have been doing is that, you know, I've been really sort of looking after the condition of this hair. And I've also been giving it sort of regular trims, which I think is so important, and actually I didn't do enough of at all before. So I'm going to tell you a little bit now about what I think works and what I think doesn't work, at least for me, as what I found and what I think is, you know, the most effective way to sort of help you with your hair growth journey, if that's what you're on as well. I think the two most important things, and I did just mention this, are the diet and the hormones. If you're not getting enough calories, you're not getting the nutrition, firstly, it can't feed your hair in any healthy way. And secondly, if you're not getting enough calories, your body's going to sort of shut down those sorts of bodily functions such as hair growth, because it sees it as less of a priority to other sort of more vital functions. So, you know, really do make sure that you are getting a good diet, lots of variety, lots of protein, all these sorts of things. See, again, I pretty much say this in every single video, but genuinely it's like the most important thing, as it turns out. The second one is, like I said, your hormones. Really do make sure that your hormones are in balance. As we know, hormones really affect your hair growth. It's the reason why men go bald. It's also the reason why women start losing their hair. It's the reason why women get very thick hair when they get pregnant. Sort of the fluctuations in your hormone levels really do affect both the health and the hair growth. So if you find that if you're somebody who's also suffering from hair loss, you know, really do check and see if your cycles are irregular, or if if you don't have your period at all, then this could very much be linked to the fact that your hair isn't as it used to be. If you were like me and you've come off the pill, this can take a little bit of time. It took me not just a little bit of time, but also I had to do a few different things to actually help my hormones along. I am going to do a separate video on sort of hormone health generally, but because I think that that is like a huge topic in and of itself. What I also think is super important, which is just something that I kind of realized last year, is vitamin D. Vitamin D is so important for your hair. I mean, that is the reason, I think, part of the reason why when you go on holiday, your nails get really strong and your hair gets really, you know, starts growing really quickly. Vitamin D, like, make sure if you're not supplementing, definitely take a supplement of that, and make sure it's a good quality supplement that is absorbed well with in your body. And then in terms of the actual upkeep, definitely, like I said before, if you can give your hair a break in terms of dyeing it and bleaching it, and if you are somebody who straightens their hair and uses sort of heat treatments, really try and look into other ways that you can look after your hair without using these sort of the harsh products. I use a sulfate-free shampoo, which is just like a natural, very mild shampoo, and I think it works really nicely. Don't blow dry my hair very often. Every now and again, if I'm going out, then I do. And when I blow dry my hair, I only use sort of warm heat rather than like the very hot setting. But for the most part, I literally do just kind of wash my hair and let it air dry. Obviously, this is just me, and I have my hair dries so quickly, and I know some people have like much thicker hair and it's a bit more of a process getting their hair dried. But if you can do it naturally, if you can sort of experiment with different ways that you can do that for a way that works for your hair, then I actually do really recommend it. Getting regular trims, I think, has been an absolute key. I think I've cut it, even since last year, I think I've cut it 3 times. So you can even see like my hair growth has been pretty good considering the length that it is now. I am still trying to grow it out a little bit because I kind of miss my long hair. If you do have split ends, just, you know, be brave, go for a chop and then start again and just grow it out. It is probably the most effective way of doing it, I have found, rather than sort of doing incremental trims. Now, of things that I think don't really work, or I haven't really seen much of a difference with, for me anyway. So I spend a lot of money on kind of hair growth shampoos and things like that, and if I'm totally honest, I really didn't see much of a difference in terms of my hair growth. It makes my hair very nice, it makes it very shiny, that kind of thing. I'm gonna do a product review on the shampoo that I used, but I think that they tend to be quite expensive, and I just think, you know, if you're looking for it after yourself internally and you're not, you know, damaging your hair externally, then I think that you don't really need the extra things, and I don't actually know how much they really help. Again, this is just what I have found. If you have a different experience, maybe you want to try it anyway, then definitely go for that. I do love getting massages and things like that. I don't know if they actually necessarily did anything to my hair growth, but I think it's just something that's nice to do. And in terms of hair masks, again, they're better for looking after the hair that you actually already have. I don't really know how much they really affect your hair growth. Remember, your hair growth comes from your scalp. It's to do with blood flow, it's to do with nutrition, and it's to do with hormones. It's those 3 things. So massages can be quite good. I don't do them that regularly, if I'm honest. Like, sometimes if I remember to use my head massage, then I'll do that. Just being a healthy person, just be a healthy person.
You're so smart, thank you.
And you know, if you have hormone issues, really do start looking into how you can kind of address those. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that people find it interesting. If you have any questions about anything else that I did, I hope you like that new hair color. Do you like my highlight? If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to share it, please do. And if you want to subscribe, even better, press the subscribe button. And I will see you again very soon for another video. Bye.